Hello, hello, friends. Hello, good day, team. Oh, thank you for tuning into our YouTube channel, Lorenzo Generations. Okay, I've come here today again to explain one or two things. Or today, I'm going very simple. I'm explaining what an airport is. Most of the time, the people that use an airport don't exactly know what an airport is. I'm not saying they don't know what an airport is in some terms, but holistically, you need to know what an airport is. I will start with an airport is a place that supports flight operations, a place that met some criteria and regulatory requirements stipulated by the authorities. In this case, if you're talking about Nigeria, you're talking about NCA, which is Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. If you're talking about places like US, you're talking of FAA, Federal Aviation Authority, or in Europe, Joint Aviation Authority. These are bodies that come together to set standards, certain standards which a particular place, which is now an airport, must meet up to or must measure up to before it can be called an airport. Certain places in Nigeria or some places cause confusion, ambiguity. If the governor of a particular state, I won't mention names, comes out and build a place, builds a very fine building, and is still constructing a runway, doesn't really make that place an airport. After all those construction, the place needs to be, evaluated by the authority. Authority will send a representative that will come down to check whether it met those regulatory requirements. It met some criteria stipulated by by ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, or by the local regulatory authority. In this case, if it's Nigeria, we are talking of NCA, in conjunction with the Nigeria Space Management Agency and Federal Port Authority of Nigeria (FAN). So, certain criteria uh, needs to be met before a place will be called an airport, meaning that any place that have not met that requirement is not to be regarded as an airport yet. Certain governors in Nigeria are trying their very best to make sure their state is accessible by building airports. It's recommendable. I salute you guys. But some of all those places need to meet certain requirements stipulated by ICAO and local regulatory authority, which is NCAA, before it can be regarded as an airport. Some of those criteria is okay, you need to have a departure lounge, uh, you need to have an arrival lounge, you need to have the presence of some regulatory body like FAN and some other agencies, whether it's a private airport or a federal controlled airport. Some airports in Nigeria, of course, they are private airports like Akwa Ibom Airport. It's controlled by the states, managed by the state, though the federal government have some agencies situated there just to monitor and see that everything is in conformity with the stipulated criteria or stipulated or regulatory requirements. Now, Asaba is a state managed airport as well, though we have some federal government agencies that are there, just like I said about Akwa Ibom, to monitor to make sure everything is in check. This is to say that an airport is an aerodrome, but not all aerodromes are airports. I'll say that again. All airports are aerodromes, but not all aerodromes are airports. For instance, if you are talking about some of the airstrips in Nigeria, some of them, if I can remember, we have Obajana, we have Ashaka, we have Kainji Dam. Even Ogun State is building an airport now. But before that place will be called an airport, it needs to meet certain requirements. Yes, you have a baby airstrip, you have Eket, and so on. These are the ones I can remember offhand. There are certain airstrips designed maybe for miners, maybe because there are natural resources there and people are looking for accessibility of taking oil field workers to those places they design an airstrip. That does not necessarily make that place an airport. It needs to meet certain even more stringent requirements before it be called an airport. There are some airstrips that are underwater, which amphibious aircraft. I know maybe some of us are hearing this for the first time. They will have some amphibious aircraft that can actually land on water. They are designed to land and take off, do this takeoff run on water like a speedboat, gain necessary speed to take off. So some airstrips in Nigeria have been in existence for long, but that doesn't mean that they are airports. And now, even after building an airport, after meeting those regulatory requirements, the regulatory body will send representatives to come there and check for inspection. That's why we have NCA inspectors, we have CA inspectors. And then it will need what is called calibration. They need to calibrate to make sure it's in check because they are waypoints. For those that are core aviators, pilots, and dispatchers may understand what I'm talking about, what to call approach fixes. We have initial approach fixes, we have final approach fixes. These things are calibrated, not when I will say a particular reporting point is in this waypoint, is in this coordinate. I beg your pardon, is in this particular coordinate using the cardinal point is in this particular coordinate. When I key it into my FMS or key it into my whatever I'm using to find a location or Google Map, whatever, that's like Google Map, it will be giving me a wrong location. So in order to eliminate those errors of wrong locations or wrong waypoints, calibration is now necessary. You need to calibrate. And there are agencies in Nigeria that does that calibration. FAN in conjunction with Nigeria Space Management Agency does those calibration. After this calibration is done, we'll be sure that when you are coming into Lagos, you're coming into land into Lagos, see two runway, one it left or one it right. You need to tune. You need to tune your final heading to 180 or 179 as the case may be, to make sure that when you tune that or when you turn that, your aircraft is centrally or your aircraft is positioned at the exact runway you want to land. So as such, calibration is very, very important. Some airstrips were actually designed for certain reasons. Some of them, like Kainji Dam, that dam there, when it was designed, some international workers that came in there needed to have accessibility, maybe because of insecurity, maybe because of the distance it was actually created. So the oil field workers can always be carried from the nearest airport to that place. So I think I've been able to explain. I will also explain in details in our next video some of the airports and the reason why you cannot go to certain airports certain times, certain period of time. Some airports in Nigeria, like Usubi, Akure, Anambra for now, Abakaliki that is upcoming. You have Benin. Some of those airports, just to mention a few of them, they don't have night facilities, runway approach lights, touchdown zone lights, runway edge lights that will support night operation or that will allow aircraft to land and navigate in the night when it's dark. I mean, so they only support daylight operation. That's why some of you, if you're buying ticket to certain places, after certain period of time, that airport is no longer accessible. That airport is no longer open for flight operations. The reason is because those airports are still operating within daylight operation, meaning sunrise to sunset. So with that in mind, airlines will now plan their schedules to fit in within those airport operating times. So that's why most of the time, if you don't work within that, or with that time, you end up missing your flight and you will not get another flight to go into those places. So it's good we know all these airports. For some of the airports that are working for 24 hours, for now in Nigeria, Lagos is one of them, Kano is one of them, Port Harcourt is one of them, Abuja is one of them. Now, there are some other airports that you can operate into, notwithstanding that they are called international airport. It's possible for an airport to be an international airport and not operate for 24 hours. Yes, there are certain airports like that, even outside the country, they have operating hours. So, for you planning a flight into those areas, you need to actually watch and plan very well that at the point of arrival, you are still within the airport operating hours so that all facilities and whatever you need for your landing and operation will be available. So, in our next video, like I said, I'm going to explain some of the navigational aids that are required to be in an airport for you to land in an extreme weather condition, for you to land in the night, for you to land when the weather is dropping below operating minimum. So thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share our YouTube channel. We are just here to help some upcoming aviators and non-aviators to understand some of the activities that are happening around the airplane, around the airport, and in an aviation environment in general. So please subscribe, give us a like, and uh, set a notification button that anytime we drop a new video, you'll be the first to know. I hope this video helps. Please don't hesitate to ask questions if there's anything you don't understand or there are gray areas you want us to revisit. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.